All right, so Halloween's coming up, and everyone's thinking about what horror movies they're going to watch. Like, Smile 2 can make the cut.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was pretty popular, but sequels, you know?
They can be hit or miss, for sure. And we want to know if this one is worth your time.
So this time, they're taking the horror to the music industry, which I think is a really cool setting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, way scarier than a haunted house or something, right? I
Yeah.
mean, IMDb mentions a pop star on a world tour, all that.
It's like, think about the pressure, right? That constant scrutiny, trying to be on all the time. It can mess with your head.
Yeah, totally. It's like the industry itself is the real horror show sometimes.
Yeah.
So this Smile 2 comes out, what, October 18th, IMDb says?
That's right, October 18th. And it is a direct sequel to The First Smile, which came out in 2022.
Oh, okay. So we're picking up where things left off.
Yeah, pretty much. Though from what I've been reading, only one actor from the original is actually back.
Ooh, really?
Who's that?
Kyle Gellner. Oh, right, right. So that makes me think they're going in a new direction, but with some kind of tie to the first movie.
Yeah, and Parker Finn, the director, he's back too.
Okay, so same director.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Sticking with what he knows, I guess.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so much.
Right, right. And along with Kyle Gallner, who else is in it?
Well, Naomi Scott is playing, let me see, I think her name is Skye, the pop star.
Okay, cool. I like her. She was good in Aladdin, right?
Yeah, she was in that. And this is interesting. Drew Barrymore is in it too.
Whoa, no way. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in the horror world for a while. Takes me back. All right, so we've got IMDb, the basic facts, but you found a review, right?
Yeah, from Alok on YouTube. He gave a pretty good rundown, I thought. Seems like he might have even seen an early screening.
Oh, wow. Lucky. What do you have to say? Good stuff. Bad stuff.
A little of both, honestly. He said it was a fresh blend of psychological horror and drama, which, I mean, that sounds promising, right?
Definitely, yeah. Like, that's the good stuff. Psychological horror can really get under your skin.
Exactly. And he said they really go into Skye's emotional state, her, her personal issues, and kind of use that to make it even scarier.
See, that's smart. Anybody can do jump scares, but to make it stick with you, it's got to be more than that.
Totally. And I love mentioned the visuals too. Like he said the imagery was super creepy, really effective at building the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, and he also mentioned that the soundtrack was really well done, very haunting.
Oh, yeah. Music can totally make or break a horror movie.
It's so true. Like you don't even need to see anything, just the right sound, can freak you out.
For real, the Jaws theme. Instant chills. It's like hardwired into our brains.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah.
our animal instincts just kick in.
Totally. Okay, so Smile 2 sounds like they're nailing the atmosphere, the psychological stuff. But what about the actual scares? Did Alec mention anything about that?
He did. He said that the movie relies on some pretty typical horror tropes. And he actually listed that as one of the downsides. Ah, okay. So, like, predictable, you mean?
Exactly. Like you can kind of see what's coming.
Which, I mean, sequels can be tough, right? You want to give people what they expect, but you also don't want to be totally unoriginal.
Yeah, it's a hard balance to strike. And then his other criticism, kind of related to that, was the jump scares.
Oh, no, too many jump
He
scares.
said there were a lot. And, like, don't get me wrong, a well-timed jump scare can be effective, but if it's all the time, it just gets kind of old.
Right. It's like, come on, give me something new. Did he say anything about what the threat even is in this one? Like, why are these smiles so creepy?
That's the thing. He said that the movie doesn't really make that clear.
Huh.
Like, we don't really know what's behind the smiles, what the motivation is.
Hmm. So it's more about the atmosphere, the feeling of unease.
Yeah, it seems
Then-
like it. And, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Some people like that kind of open-ended horror. Others want a more concrete explanation.
For sure. It's all a matter of taste, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got mixed signals here, unique setting, psychological depth, Drew Barrymore,
Mm-hmm.
but also potentially predictable, too many jump scares, and maybe a threat that's not well defined. What's the verdict?
Hmm.
So it's like, do you want your horror to mess with your head or just make you jump?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what kind of experience are you looking for?
Because this Smile 2, it's kind of sounding like it's trying to do both, right? Like we've got the creepy smiles, the jump scares, but then also this deeper dive into like anxiety, pressure, all that.
And that's what I think is interesting about the music industry as a setting. It already has all that built in.
Sort of, yeah. It's like everyone wants to be famous, but what happens when that fame turns, dark?
It's ripe for horror, for sure. And then having Drew Barrymore in it just adds another layer to that, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like she's been there, done that, right? Seen the good and the bad side of Hollywood.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder if her role is like intentionally playing on that, even if it's subtle.
Yeah, like some meta-commentary on the whole thing. That'd be cool.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like this movie could go either way. It has potential, but it could also just be another formulaic sequel.
True, true. So what's the final verdict? Should we be excited for Smile 2 or nah?
I think if you're into psychological horror, if you're intrigued by the setting, and if you like grew up watching Drew Barrymore movies, then yeah, it's probably worth checking out. But maybe keep your expectations in check.
Don't go in expecting the scariest movie ever, but be open to something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Sometimes the movies that try to do too much are the most interesting to talk about anyway.
That's true. High risk, high reward. All right, so Smile 2 hits theaters October 18th. Be sure to come back and let us know what you thought. We'll be diving into all the details, the good, the bad, and the just plain weird.
Definitely. Until then,
Yeah.
happy watching, everyone.
And happy Halloween.